For more than 50 years, Atlantic Coast Conference basketball has evolved from a regional pastime into a national phenomenon. From X's and O's into X's and ACC basketball is a collection of legendary coaches and players who are round ball royalty, with the tournament serving as its crown jewel. This is a behind-the-scenes, all-access look at one of the greatest sporting events in the world. This is the 2011 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. This is Dancing with Destiny. Welcome to Greensboro, North Carolina's third largest city. From Revolutionary War hero General Nathaniel Greene, for whom the city is named, to 4 college students who refused to leave Woolworths at the height of the Civil Rights Movement. Greensboro is not just known for making history, but for rewriting it, especially when it comes to college basketball. For all 12 teams that dream of becoming a part of Greensboro's history, this is their shot. Early on day one, hours before the tournament will officially begin, another local landmark, the Greensboro Coliseum, seems serene on the outside. But on the inside, preparations are in their final stages, as getting this building tournament ready is a process that the Coliseum staff has down to a science.
But we're used to it. We've got a good system going on. We've got good people working for us, and they all know their jobs. And we just go right to it.
Here's my score table. Lots of cable.
Oh yeah. Cable everywhere.
Have to come this way. I'll pull back to you. Okay, guys, they ready for that ACC banner going up now? Make it even. Go.
Ah, yes, the banners. Just how do they get them all the way up there? Enter Carl Eller and a bunch of his old ex-firefighter friends.
This is pretty safe. You know, we've got our safety belts on and we're secured in with the safety line, so overall it's real safe. Now, years ago we used to get up here without a belt or anything, so we've come a long ways in the past 20 years.
No, I'm quite comfortable having them go out there. They do it all the time. They do it for a living here. They're real good about what they do. They know what they're doing. They're competent, and never worried about them at all.
This building hosts rock concerts, circuses, you name it. But there's just an extra buzz around tournament time.
We like having a full house full of people. It sounds great. We get the bands going, the games are going, the crowds get excited. It's a whole different buzz than any concert we ever have in here.
That's going to be a team to watch, I promise you. Of course, you got to watch all of them. You never know. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what's going to happen here.
So let's fast forward to day one of the tournament. The Coliseum's ready, but how about the food?
Pretzels, get your hot pretzels!
Kettle corn! Large or jumbo?
Now, time to let in the fans.
I was the first person in, feels great. Ready to watch some basketball. Oh, ACC Tournament is always fun to come to. Fan Fest is great, the atmosphere is great. Best basketball in the country. Cannot beat it. Morning. We are in.
We're just about set for tip-off, but first, a quick bus ride as Miami prepares to face Virginia in the tournament's first game.
Welcome to the granddaddy of all the college basketball tournaments. It is the 58th annual ACC Tournament, the first game, featuring the 9th-seeded University of Miami Hurricanes with a record of 18-13, taking on the Cavaliers of Virginia. Outside, the city of Greensboro has its raincoat on. Inside, the ACC Tournament about ready to get underway. Should be a dandy between the Hurricanes and the Cavaliers.
Mates and misses. We're getting that ball out. That doesn't mean we shoot the ball quick. That means we get the ball and play quick in terms of our front court. This is our area, right here. Okay? Understand this on defense. We got to force them to the baseline. Keep them out of the middle. Okay? All right, let's go have a good one.
The U is here to play, boys. ACC! ACC!
The Hurricanes' opponent in the first-round matchup would be Tony Bennett's Virginia Cavaliers, a hot group which had won 4 of its last 5 games. Down 6 to start the second half, UVA's offense exploded.
Joe Harris tipped the ball into the hands of Barricott. He feeds ahead to Evans. Evans lays it in on the other side.
And just when you thought the Cavaliers were going to cruise to victory, the Hurricanes stormed back.
Here's the inbound pass. Campbell will stuff it down with a two-hand dunk. Nobody got in his way.
Down 10 with under 1 minute to play, Miami came all the way back to force overtime.
It's going to be taken by Durant Scott. He puts it up with a foul with 13.9 seconds to go.
In the OT, Miami's momentum carried over as the Canes get the improbable 7-point win.
On the drive, a kick out. Adams for 3. In the air. Good! Darius Adams, a right wing 3 from right in front of the Miami bench.
Be ready when your opportunity comes. That's all you got to do. Stay ready. And everybody we called on was ready and help us make plays to win the game.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That was a crazy game, baby. You feel me? Got the dub, though. I let it go.
Much of the tradition and aura behind ACC basketball is due to the legendary men who have roamed the sidelines. From Dean to Lefty to Coach K. This league is a who's who of coaching. And while their main job is to turn boys into men, another priority is turning former players into future head coaches. At this year's tournament, all you have to do is sneak a peek just behind the head man to see a handful of assistant coaches who used to shine for their alma maters in this same tournament. And even though their playing days are over, this coaching fraternity is still very competitive.
That's why we love this game. That's why we play this game. We're all competitive guys, and whether we're playing or coaching or whatever the case is, we want to represent our schools well and compete with each other and win games. And you can still be cordial off the court and know each other and be friends. But once you get across the lines, it's all business. I think everybody wants to win.
Well, it's still competitive. The good thing about it, we all realize now as coaches that we're a lot older. We're a lot older. We can't really get out there. The only thing we could do is, we can play the mind games with each other, and really talk about how our team's going to be prepared. But at the same time, just having that experience and, as a player, have opportunity to play in the ACC tournament, and then now coaching, something that you really take a great deal of pride in, and something that you really try to transfer over to your players. The importance of really being ready to play, especially, in March, come ACC tournament time.
Having the opportunity to both play and coach in the ACC tournament gives these men a unique perspective on this great event, and even time to reflect on what they would have done differently back in their playing days.
As a coach, I would tell the young Keith Booth just to enjoy this experience and really take it all in, but more importantly, be ready to play every game. This ain't like the NBA where you have the best 7 games. Anybody can be beaten on one night, so our job is just really prepare for one game at a time and see what happens.
I think the ACC tournament is one of the best events in college basketball. Being a local guy from around here, we won 2 ACC championships in Greensboro, so Greensboro holds a special place for me for the ACC tournament. But just, the atmosphere, the crowd support, the bringing all the teams together is just something that every year you look forward to, and the atmosphere in the building and the energy in the building is always unparalleled.
Fans not able to see the tournament in person rely on the media to fill them in on the action, be it on TV, on the web, or on the air.
We're inside the Greensboro Coliseum. Is it an ACC Tournament number 58?
The ACC Tournament is wired. For more than a quarter century, Associate Commissioner Brian Morrison has been in charge of giving the media a home for the tournament. Morrison has issued more than 800 credentials for the week as the tournament and technology continue to evolve.
When I first started, there would be a school newspaper and a student newspaper. Now there's 5 websites that cover the school. Some schools have 2 student agencies. There's student radio, student TV. So there's a lot of change going on right now that we have to adapt to.
Carl Hicks is also an associate commissioner for the ACC, and his job is to make sure all aspects of the tournament go smoothly, on and off the court. It's virtually an around-the-clock job this time of year that's worth every second of effort.
When I played college basketball, I won 1 championship, and I'll never forget that championship. And here's an opportunity for kids to win something, be a part of something that they'll never forget too. And I'm a part of, and the staff's a part of providing that for them, and that's fun.
It's like an all-star game of media for me. And because the media that attendance send their best people. And because of it, it's like a homecoming every year. There are still guys that are still covered it that when I first did it 25, 26 years ago.
And when all this media come together to cover this tournament, it's poetry in motion, almost like a symphony. For Game 2, Boston College, the highest seed playing on Thursday, was getting focused for their postseason debut.
The team that's energized, is more ready to go, that is excited to start the game, 1 through 13 of us, that's a team that's going to win a game.
For Wake Forest, a chance to turn around a season that produced just one conference win. And early on, the Deacs were thinking upset.
Down low, DeRocher's the slam dunk.
But hot shooting from behind the arc helped to build a 16-point edge for the Eagles at the half.
Right of the key now for Paris. 3 on the way. Man, he got it.
In the second half, BC continued to soar, never letting the Demon Deacons get close.
Jackson's got it. Down the lane and the slam dunk. The tomahawk slam by the explosive Reggie Jackson.
Boston College moves on to the quarterfinals with a convincing 81-67 win over Wake Forest.
A lot of things talking about the NCAA, that doesn't matter. You're trying to win the ACC Tournament. That's what this is about.
Most fans need no extra motivation when it comes to cheering on their favorite team. Yet cheerleaders are synonymous with college basketball, and they are a staple at the ACC Tournament.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2.
Green to inbound from the right baseline.
Go! Get up and Nolan! Come on, Eric. Come on. Go in.
Yeah! Rolls and goes for Eric Green. And it's 41-35, and the Hokies are back within 6.
Fans of ACC basketball are some of the most passionate, energetic, and knowledgeable in all of sports. A long tradition of round ball supremacy has spawned not just fans, but super fans. Meet Fred Joseph, Jay Winepole, and Ashby Cook, 3 diehards who had a chance to share a meal at a local Greensboro restaurant and share memories of the special event they look forward to more than anything.
My first ACC tournament was back in 1975. I had grown up in High Point and gone to a lot of games, and finally got to go to a tournament, and I went to the parking lot and got a ticket and sat on the top row. But my first tournament, and after that, I haven't
Greensboro
missed
Coliseum.
Greensboro Coliseum, and that's the place to have it.
Tournaments in Greensboro, I always hear from people that everybody loves it in Greensboro because it's a smaller town and everybody's talking basketball when you're out for dinner or whatever in between breaks.
We've been up to Maryland and to Florida and to Atlanta, and it's not the event when it's at those places. But when it's here in Greensboro, it's the big show.
Well, when I think of tournament basketball, really the ACC set the foundation. It's always been tremendous, very well supported. And you look at some of these other conferences, it's not as big a thing, but I think it's that tradition that goes back 50 years when it was the hardest ticket in the world to get and a fun place to be. And part of the fun is just seeing the other fans and see the passion and the excitement.
The ACC tournament is just the granddaddy of them all, and I know that people used to that couldn't get in would stand out after the final game and buy your stubs from you so they could say that they had been to an ACC game.
That's crazy.
It's the best in the country. You got to go. I sit now for all 11 games. Friends of mine can't believe that I go to all 11 games.
Well, probably the best basketball game that's ever been played was the State Maryland game
with
Elmore, Burleson, Thompson, McMillan.
I was a young pup
group,
then.
And that went overtime, and it's rated as probably the best basketball game that was ever been played.
I was like late 20s, early 30s then. Now I'm turning 60 this year.
1995. Wake Forest is playing Carolina. Carolina has Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, McInnes, a loaded team. And Randolph Childress was putting on the tournament that I've never seen anybody.
I absolutely remember that. And he had a game that was unbelievable. Wherever he put the ball up, it went in.
And that game went down to the wire, and Randolph hit that jump shot and made the basket to put Wake ahead. Carolina had one last chance to score and didn't make it. And that celebration, I think that day Wake Forest had more fans in that coliseum than Carolina did.
Here's a little trivia for you guys. Who was the only person that could keep Michael Jordan under 20 points per game?
Dean Smith.
That is correct.
Well, we got it at the same time.
In Game 3, Maryland and NC State would tip off the night session. Two teams with a lot in common. Both teams, red and white. Both head coaches used to play their college ball for their current employer. And both clubs desperately needed a win to keep NCAA tournament hopes alive. Maryland would distinguish themselves early, looking sharp.
Williams goes right around the big guy in the middle for the Wolfpack.
NC State hung tough, cutting into a double-digit Maryland lead. But at the half, the Terps still held a 9-point advantage over the Wolfpack.
Rebound to Adrian Bowie. Flips it quickly to Keyshawn Howard. He's got Williams running the floor. Got down before everybody else got down. An easy layup for Jordan Williams.
In the second frame, Maryland would take the lead and extend it, going up by as many as 16 points. Tough defense would lead to potent offense. And Maryland would hold on to earn a 75-67 win over the Wolfpack.
You got to really focus now. This is big. This is big now, okay? That was great. We did what we had to do to get that win. Now we got to do it again.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, great win. Maryland on 3. 1, 2, 3. Now.
Now, Maryland and NC State weren't the only two teams on the court in the last game. What? You didn't notice a third team? Well, good, because that's just the way the referees wanted it. Meet one of the best in all of college basketball.
Respect the league and respect what's on your shirt. Don't talk back and forth, have a good time. Here we go. Nope, that way. Do me a favor. What? Go in there and get me a little piece of that chicken and bring it back out. Get a little tired, I might need to bite a chicken. I don't need any rice, just some chicken. What do you want there, Gary? Huh? Who did what hit? The ball. The ball never got possessed in the front court. It has to get possessed in the front court. He walked that way. Ball's on the side. If it goes, they're okay. White number 12, hit him on the arm. 2 shots. How you doing? Come on. You got a couple more years to play. You play your 10 years and then come on. There you go. Gonzo, you ain't getting that? No, it's not a foul. That's a flop. No. All right, down here? You surrounded by all your closest friends? They told me they didn't like you very much. Like I never got that chicken.
Went great. Thought we were good. Good game. 2 good teams. 2 good coaches. 2 good schools. 2 good partners. Perfect night. So it was fun. We had a good time. Game over.
Let's go, Jackets! Woo!
In the nightcap of day 1, things got technical. The favorite, Virginia Tech, was hoping not to fall victim to last year's tournament runner-ups, Georgia Tech.
Trust yourselves, trust your teammates, get to the next play, all right, and have fun doing it. Let's go.
As soon as Virginia Tech ran onto the floor at Greensboro Coliseum, they knew the best way to get to Georgia Tech was to take the lead and never give it back. Virginia Tech's Eric Green would score the first 2 points of the game, and the Hokies would never look back.
Here's Malcolm Delaney, a right wing 3-ball, and it is good. Delaney got open and ripped it home.
Georgia Tech would provide a few highlights.
Left corner, Jason Morris will take off and dunk it down.
But in the end, there wasn't enough buzz in the Yellow Jackets. The Hokies win, 53-49.
I told you, we're a good team, and when we play together and trust each other and believe in each other, we're a great team. We're a great team. Now, we didn't come here to win one game. All right? We didn't come here to win one game. We came here to advance.
Time for people to make their way inside the arena, and these fans are ready.
What makes it special?
Right now, Roy Williams does. He's the man with the plan.
Before fans go into the arena to see history being made,
Thank you.
now, for the first time, they can relive history by taking a look at the brand new ACC Hall of Champions.
A ton of stuff to look at. It was really cool to see what the other schools had to showcase besides ours. I would say also seeing the mascots up close and personal, it was really cool to see. I mean, you always see them down on the field or the court side, and to have them that close to you, the experience was really cool.
The ACC's regular season champs, North Carolina, enter the Greensboro Coliseum for the first time Friday morning. The Tar Heels, eager to start the ACC tournament the same way their regular season ended, red hot. Their opponent, the Miami Hurricanes, who had shocked everyone with their last-minute comeback win over Virginia one day earlier. And the Hurricanes were up for the challenge.
Game number 2, UNC, UM, here.
Duran Scott helped give Miami an early lead, causing Roy Williams to go to his bench. Deep into his bench, replacing all 5 starters. One of the heel subs is Van Hatchel, the son of legendary North Carolina women's coach Sylvia Hatchel, who was pumped up. This Roy Williams strategy has worked in the past, but it just motivated Miami's Malcolm Grant, who was just as good as the number on his back. 3! At the half, Miami had a 9-point lead. In the second half, every time Carolina would cut into the Miami lead with an emphatic 2,
McDonald along the baseline, floater no good, and Henson jams it home.
Miami would counter with a 3.
It's good! He connects on another three-pointer!
So UNC would employ that strategy to roar back.
Now to Marshall, and he drains a 3. Jump pass out to Marshall. Fires another 3. Good! Barnes trying to get away with a shot. Does good!
A 19-point Miami lead had been erased, and with the game tied on the game's last possession, this.
Marshall, 5.6 seconds left. Marshall trying to penetrate to Zeller. Layup. Got it! He got it! Carolina wins the game. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
While most of the action in the ACC tournament happens on the court, things really rock just a few paces off it.
The spirit that the band brings to the games is so unique to college athletics, and the Duke band kind of embodies that. They bring energy to every game, and it's something you don't get anywhere else except for college athletics.
If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would. It's always up with mustard.
With the Coliseum still buzzing, the Clemson Tigers would make their way from the locker room to the court. Their quarterfinal opponent? Boston College, who was coming off a convincing win in round 1. Clemson's Quicks put the Tigers ahead of BC by 8 at the half.
Spins the lane to his right, and then he forces one up with the right hand, and he drains it.
And the Tigers were even more fierce in the second half.
And he feeds Grant, who jams it home. The lane feeds Grant, and Gerard jams it home.
The fresh legs of Clemson were too much for Boston College. Final score, 70-47.
Yeah, we just want to play North Carolina tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That's all we want. Clemson Tigers is ready for North Carolina. We are ready.
6 games down, 5 to go in the ACC Tournament. That much action deserves a change of scenery. How about a good, quick meal at another one of Greensboro's landmarks?
This is beef burger, the best burger in the world. Yes, sir.
Let me have this question.
Special? You want cheese on it?
Cheese on it.
Special with cheese. All the way? Be fine, 23, sir. We boil our hamburgers, we don't fry them, we don't microwave our food. And I've been doing it ever since I was 18 years old. My wife, my whole family, my wife, and my daughter did too. It's just been our whole life.
Sam, you want one? Ronnie, you want one?
I know you're full, but you better save room for 2 more basketball games to close out quarterfinal Friday. First up, the defending ACC Tournament and national champions, Duke. Coach K and company set to take on Gary Williams and his Maryland Terrapins. It was Duke that would race out to an early lead. Ryan Kelly, who in the regular season averaged 6 points a game, had 11 in the first half.
Kelly, open three-pointer, got it.
How about Ryan Kelly? 5 for 5 now from the floor.
Duke took a 9-point lead into the locker room. Maryland would chip away at the Blue Devils' lead in the second half. But senior Kyle Singler would put Duke on his back the rest of the way. A bruising, hard-fought win did not come without paying a price.
Nolan slowly walking back over to the Duke bench with the Duke trainers. Not good news for the Blue Devils.
But in the end, the Blue Devils still had enough firepower, cruising to a 16-point win over the Terps. Just before Duke and Maryland left the floor, Virginia Tech took the 10-minute bus ride for their game against Florida State.
I really believe in my heart of hearts, something special's happening tonight. Something special's happening tonight, for one reason, because of you guys.
Now, on the court, the Noles and the Hokies would finish Friday in style. Florida State would get out of the gate quickly. That lead would last into the second half when Virginia Tech mounted a comeback. With under 10 seconds to play, the Hokies' Eric Green threw a dagger at the Seminoles.
Goes to Green, three-point shot launched. It's good with 4 seconds to go. There you go.
After a timeout, Leonard Hamilton's crew had one desperate shot at a win.
Kicks it off the top of the zone. Dribbles to the baseline. Puts up the shot at the horn. It goes! It goes! It goes! It goes!
And the celebration was on. But wait.
Did that shot get away before the horn?
Replay shows the ball was not released in time. And Virginia Tech ends a bizarre Friday as both teams were stunned. Virginia Tech advances with a 52-51 win.
That last 20 minutes was what Virginia Tech basketball is all about. You know, it just shows that when you guys really lean on each other and believe in each other, perseverance and resiliency, we talked about before the game, you can't be any more resilient than you guys were just then.
So who's got the best seat in the house? Is it a fan with that up-close seat? Is it the press who are almost on the floor? Or maybe it's the ball boy.
We got really lucky because it's just you and me down here. The black hair, he'll be 1, and then the gray hair will be 2. Gray hair, okay. And we can swap off jobs each time out.
What is the responsibilities of the ball kid?
Rebounding. You have to wipe the floor at timeouts. Give the refs water. Hey, try that again. Snail. If anyone falls, you go wipe it up. That's really it. Oh, and the cameramen, they move and you all that travel.
Thanks for your help today. You did a great job.
Thanks.
It will be available immediately. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Day 3 of the tournament was a beautiful Saturday in Greensboro. Mother Nature provided a perfect backdrop for another one of the tournament's time-honored traditions, tailgating.
What makes a good tailgating party?
I do. Yeah. How about you? Wonderful company and wonderful fans. As long as you're not a Duke or Carolina fan.
I'm a Duke fan. I graduated from Duke Law School the same day that she graduated from Carolina undergrad in 1996. We have our own little tar devil here in the middle. He's conflicted. He may need therapy one day, and we hope he doesn't go to State or Virginia Tech.
Anybody comes by, we're going to feed them. Right now we're cooking sausage, bacon, and eggs. You got to have the basketball game to make us tailgate. So it's just a great time.
The lambs for the Carolina guys, the barbecues for the state, those kind of guys. So.
We're here at the 2011 ACC Tournament. I'm a Duke fan, and we're going to sneak in on the Turtles, who are tailgating in the parking lot of the Greensboro Coliseum, and steal their food. We belong here, right? Hey guys, how y'all doing? Excuse me, get out of the way. Oh, this looks good. Hey, you guys are welcome to have some food if you want some, courtesy of Duke.
And Carolina.
We even put Carolina. Carolina. He said Carolina.
That's right, Carolina.
Carolina. UGLY does not have an alibi. He's ugly. Carolina ugly.
Go Duke. I'm gonna pretend I don't know him. I may sit somewhere else.
Full bellies for the fans, yet still an insatiable appetite for basketball. In semifinal number 1, North Carolina, coming off the greatest comeback in ACC tournament history, would take on a Clemson team that was barely tested in their quarterfinal game one day earlier. And the Tigers still had happy feet, racing out to an early double-digit lead on the Heels, who found themselves down 10 at the break. To start the second half, a pair of dunks would set the tone for a fantastic finish.
Feeds Booker left of the basket, and he jams it home.
The alley-oop to Hinson for the slam dunk.
Harrison Barnes' hot hand brought the Heels all the way back. And Roy Williams and company were headed for overtime when Clemson's DeMontez Stitz game winner just missed. In the extra session, it was more Barnes, who was on his way to breaking the ACC Tournament freshman scoring record, pouring in 40 points.
Superman is in Greensboro.
Just hop on his back and he'll carry us around.
And for the second straight day, another Carolina comeback completed. The Tar Heels end up a 92-87 winner. If you ever have the opportunity to attend an ACC tournament, there's a good chance you may run into Kara Westmoreland. For 10 years, Kara has volunteered her time to help those in need get to and from their seats. If you need wheelchair assistance, Kara will help you get where you need to be.
We wheel them up free of charge with a happy smile on our face, not cheering for any particular team, and just have fun with it.
Kara took vacation days from her job in South Carolina to be at the tournament. But the sacrifice is worth it to her.
I get happy just seeing the joy that they have, knowing that I can help them make all of the conference games to see their own teams, because sometimes some of these people wouldn't be able to come and actually attend the games without our assistance.
These volunteers are wonderful. I would not be able to attend the games if it wasn't for them. And Greensboro is the only place that has these volunteers.
Mentally, Kara's work makes her just feel good. And there's the physical benefits, too.
Oh, my muscles after 10 years.
Unfinished business. We didn't come here to get to semifinal Saturday. We came here to win a championship.
Semifinal Saturday's second game pitted the Duke Blue Devils against Virginia Tech. After injuring his toe against Maryland in the quarterfinals, Nolan Smith not only played against Virginia Tech, He was the best player on the floor.
Here's Nolan getting free, jumping up a three, good. Nolan Smith. Fall away high, arching shot. Nolan Smith is on fire.
Nolan Smith pushes the Devils to an 11-point halftime lead. In the second half, Malcolm Delaney would do his best to get the Hokies back in the game. However, not one, but two Mason Plumlee alley-oop jams sealed the deal as Duke moves on to set up the dream matchup between Duke and Carolina in the ACC Championship finale. Day 4, Championship Sunday, where another chapter of the Duke-North Carolina rivalry was about to be written.
Down with the Devils. Down with the Devils. Heels.
And no matter how often these two teams tussle, it never gets old.
Best rivalry there is.
It's gonna be a Duke victory. That's he gonna be crying all the way home. That's about all I can say.
Well, we'll see about that when we get in there.
One fan ready for the big day was at the Coliseum for every game.
Thursday and Friday we worked about 12 and a half hours, from 7:30 to about 8 o'clock at night.
The problem for this Hoops fan? She never got to see one basket.
The men's ACC, they won't let you go in. The women's, we got to go see. Tar Heel fan all my life. You better cheer them on now.
No, we will. Don't you worry.
Y'all didn't cheer hard enough yesterday.
We got to buy tickets first.
That's, oh, Lord. Y'all going to cheer them Heels on for me?
We're going to try.
Go Heels.
Thank you.
Go Heels!
Hey. Thank you.
Cheer them on.
We will.
On the inside, the arena was filling up, and all of the attention, all of the fanfare began to focus on one game, Duke versus North Carolina.
Let's do Carolina.
8 miles apart. 8 miles apart.
Best rivalry in the nation.
Hey, dark blue's a little better shade, brother.
Welcome to Championship Sunday of the 2011 Atlantic Coast Conference Basketball Tournament, the granddaddy of all conference tournaments. This is the game that 12 Atlantic Coast Conference teams came to Greensboro on Thursday to play in, but unfortunately, for 10 of them, the event is over.
It's their first ACC tournament meeting since 2003, and their first showdown in the final game since 2001. That's right, it's been 10 years since they met with the title on the line.
Finally, after all the preparation, all the build-up, all of the hype, the ball was tipped, and the game was on. And just like they had done on Friday and Saturday, Carolina started Sunday ice cold. The Heels had trouble withstanding the Duke pressure.
Trying to get a 5-second call, pokes the ball free and comes up with a steal.
Duke has got the ball, and here we go again, fellas.
And when they could get a shot off, it just wasn't falling. Meanwhile, Duke's aim was spot on from outside and in. Outside.
Kick out, open, Dawkins, three, got it!
And in.
Into the paint he goes for the spin, got it, and a foul on the play.
And with the shot clock running down,
he's got a hustle at the buzzer, banks it off the glass for three.
Duke was all smiles there, too.
How sweet it is!
Despite a highlight reel jam by semifinal hero UNC's Harrison Barnes, Duke was unstoppable in the first half.
Nolan goes beside him, down between the two defenders. Teardrop will not go, but stuff back home.
As the Blue Devils headed into the locker room with a 14-point halftime lead. North Carolina would try to regroup at the half and find the energy for yet another comeback, but there was no let-up in Duke.
He'll send it to Singler, turns, shoots a three, got it. Kyle Singler's first three of the ball game.
With under 7 minutes to play, Harrison Barnes sparked the Heels from beyond the arc.
Henson on the right side, gets it back to Barnes, shot from the corner, good!
And then he gets a lift from a friendly rim.
That ball hit the back of the rim, went almost to the top of the backboard, and dropped back through for the basket.
But strong contributions from key role players.
Shoots a pass left side, Curry, open three, bottoms!
Take that! Seth Curry answers the Harrison Barnes flurry with a big three.
Nolan takes it on the attack, dumps it out right corner, Kelly, wide open three, bang!
Blue Devils have hit 2 big threes in the last minute.
And an MVP performance from Nolan Smith were simply too much for North Carolina.
Now nice crossover to get away from Marshall. Down the lane for the lay-in. Nolan Smith.
Coach K leads Duke to their 3rd straight ACC Tournament crown as the Blue Devils captured their 10th title in the last 13 years.
Duke is the champion of the 2011 ACC Tournament.
There you go. Number 1, baby.
Commissioner Swafford's done this now 10 times in the last 13 years for the Blue Devils, handing it over to those team captains on the podium here at midcourt of the Greensboro Coliseum.
Did it ever get old, this feeling that you got right now?
No, it doesn't, because you're always in the moment with your team. If you looked in the past or look for to the future, you miss out on the moment that you have right now, and that moment of being in the last conference game that Kyle Singler and Nolan Smith are playing in. It's a cool thing, and especially if they win it. And that's the job I have. I get a chance to be in those moments with some very special players.
3 feet! How you feeling? 3 feet! Oh, it feels great, baby!
I think we just love coming to the city, coming to Greensboro, and the fans are always so great down here, and I think just from winning it, our coaches do a great job in preparation, getting us ready to take it 1 game at a time.
It's the best. It's like if you get the privilege of going to the best restaurant, the best theater, the best. If you have the privilege of being in the best end of season conference tournament, which we do. And I think in a city that embraces it better than any city can. And you feel the tournament from Thursday on, wherever you go. And I love it.
After 11 games in 4 days, one is the sole survivor.
They dive for it, loose on the floor, bodies everywhere.
Duke. However, you didn't have to be a Blue Devils fan to get the full ACC Tournament experience. A precious plenty got to witness the passion, the pageantry, and the pride of this grand event, and allowed all who came to the 2011 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament the chance to dance with destiny.